On March 18th or 19th, depending on your time zone, we are going to have a new moon in highly sensitive, spiritually attuned, super psychic water sign Pisces, happening at almost the very last degree of Pisces, meaning it is time to let go and surrender to what we can't control, to forgive and release our past, so that we can open up and receive the fresh new vision, the spark of aliveness that spring promises. Remarkably, my friend, just after the new moon peaks, we are going to feel a palpable shift from the deep water of Pisces into fiery, risk-taking, go-getting Aries, as this new moon activates for the very first time the new era of Neptune in Aries. And if this all sounds like a lot, don't worry, my friend, I am going to break it all down for you in part 1 of this video, where, as always, I'll be sharing tips for how to make the most of this lunation. And in part 2, I will be letting you know where in your natal astrology chart you will be experiencing the new moon in Pisces, also pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs. I strongly encourage you to watch part 1 of this video before jumping to your 12 sign readings, because this is where I'll be sharing my insights and the aspects that point to the larger story playing out. So I'm super excited to dive in with you. But first, if you are new to the channel, I want to welcome you. If you are highly sensitive, on a spiritual path, or an ascension journey, I am so glad that you have found us. This is a like-minded community. You are in the right place. Take a moment right now to tap that subscribe button and the notification bell, so we stay connected and you don't miss a video. Welcome back to you lovely, loyal people who've been watching my videos. If you've not yet subscribed, can you take a moment right now to tap subscribe? It's completely free and it really helps all YouTubers, including myself, to bring you new quality videos. If we are just now meeting, I'm Betsy, a psychic astrologer and intuitive life coach, and the author of The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. It is always my intention to inspire and empower you through Western tropical astrology. It is also my passion and dedication to meet you on Zoom for live one-on-one astrology readings and clarity coaching sessions. So if you are intrigued or you just need some more support right now, stay tuned till the end of the video. I will tell you more about my offerings and I have a free gift for you. Stay tuned till the end. I'll tell you how to get that free gift. And I write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. So if you would like to receive those, you can go to my website, subscribe for free, and you'll get my free instant download gift at the same time. Now, all new moons are the beginning of a brand new cycle. This is where we seed our intentions for what we want to co-create, the things that our heart most desires going forward. But because a new moon is a dark moon, we cannot see it in the sky. We are much more internal. We are meant to reflect. And honestly, we can feel a bit depressed or low energy during a new moon. And this is because as the moon moves from a dark moon to a first quarter moon, and then a full moon, and of course there are phases in between, as the moon gains light and grows bigger, we also gain hope and optimism. So during this new moon in Pisces, the sun and the moon are together. They are in the same sign, both in watery, intuitive, divinely connected Pisces. And in this energy, we can feel closest to the divine realms, to our spirit, to our soul, to our spirit guides, our angels, our ancestors, our loved ones on the other side. Or we can feel like we're drifting. We can feel lost when it comes to our earthly life, because it may not, in the moment of this new moon, match the ideal, your ideal vision or your fantasy that you had imagined would be the reality of your life at this point in time. And so we want to have deep compassion for ourselves, for being humans, for being on this earthly journey, because in Pisces energy, we are meant to see ourselves as spiritual beings having the human experience. And to use our psychic senses, to use our proximity, the veil can be quite thin during a Pisces season or a Pisces new moon. We are meant to use our psychic or intuitive superpowers to tap into the guidance that is often not so easily or readily available. Now, more on Pisces energy in a moment, but I want to say wherever you have Pisces in your unique birth chart, my friend, the sun and the moon together during this new moon are encouraging you to set an intention for a fresh start, for a fine tuning, perhaps of something you're already working on, or even something you're reviewing or redoing or reappraising because Mercury is retrograde in Pisces during this new moon. And it won't be until 6 months from this new moon that it culminates, that we have that full circle graduation moment or that manifestation that we're seeding the intentions for right now. That will be when we have the full moon in Pisces on August 27th, which is also a full moon lunar eclipse. And eclipses can be quite dramatic. Something that's been super important in our lives, that's been an anchor even, could be coming to fruition or could be closing out and ending. So that brings even more importance to this new moon. So as much as it symbolizes new beginnings and fresh starts and a new vision, it also very much calls us to let go of and release our past. Whatever is ending or leaving, a chapter, an old self, a dream that we no longer want to put energy into, perhaps, to release that if this feels like the time is right for that. Or maybe you're releasing a pattern. Maybe you're releasing a pattern of self-sacrificing, of overwork, of giving too much of your time or energy to a relationship, a situation, a job, and so on. Whatever it is, this new moon says it is time to let go of what is not serving us, what is not working for us, so that we can make room, we can make space for the fresh, the new, the invigorating to take root. Now, in Pisces energy, we tend to be more open to our dreams. We can have more intense dreams. We can awaken to things we haven't seen before. We can realize that we want to deepen our creativity, or perhaps give our energy to a healing art or to people who are less fortunate than we are. Wherever you have Pisces in your chart, my friend, you can have an altruistic streak. This is where you're meant to nourish your spiritual energies. And this is also where you could have more challenges setting boundaries. Because Pisces represents the ocean, and the ocean is boundaryless. We are all drops of energy in the same vast ocean. And it's where you could have experienced more challenges, feeling supported, feeling like you're not doing it all by yourself. You're not floating out in the middle of the ocean solo. Because even though in truth there is no separation, we are all one, all of our individual egos can easily create a sense of separation in order to feel safe. And this is why the themes of compassion for ourselves, for others, unconditional love, radical self-acceptance, why these themes come into play during a Pisces new moon. As the very last sign of the zodiac ruling the 12th house, which is connected to endings, karmic relationships, fated occurrences during a Pisces new moon, we can also have experiences that feel quite karmic. But most importantly, on a very personal level, we are invited to awaken to our true identity, our spiritual identity. What do I mean by that? The part of us that is eternal, the solid anchor of divine source energy that we all channel, that we all are, the truth of each and every one of us as spirits of pure love, that energy which can never be taken away, regardless of what's going on in your life, regardless of the ups and downs of the human experience, regardless of the losses, the frustrations, the sadness, the grief, the anger, a relationship that could be in trouble or ending, a job that you just can't stick with anymore, or maybe some of you have been let go from a job. Maybe you've been in a creative drought, or you've had a dry spell in intimacy. Some challenge. Many of us have been through these as of late. A challenge that could be extremely difficult, could be a health crisis. Or maybe you just feel stuck or stagnant. You just don't know what the future holds for you. You want that inspiration. You want that spark of aliveness. You want to feel that again. Whatever it is for you, this new moon is guiding us to deepen our connection with that which will never change. The one thing that is constant, the one thing that is permanent, our soul or our divine eternal self. And the highest octave of Pisces energy, the expression that is most aligned with inner peace and contentment, is the perspective that life is fluid. Like nature, life moves in cycles. New growth, expansion, and then constriction. pulling in, releasing, letting go, preparing for a new cycle of growth and expansion. But were you taught that life would move in cycles like that it wouldn't just be up, 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 up? There would be ups and downs and all arounds. Most of us were not taught that life moves in ebbs and flows, and that the ebbs are part of the journey. So how do we work best with Pisces energy, especially if we are going through a challenge? We go with the flow and ride with the tide. We simplify. We count our blessings. We let ourselves be inspired by simple things, such as the beauty of flowers. We can play with color. We can move our bodies to music, sing, express, release our anger, pray, meditate, do new moon rituals, write to spirit, ask for guidance. And especially important in Pisces energy, release our emotions, our sadness, our anger, our fear. Whatever it is, let the stresses, like water, roll off of us. Now, this is the 7th consecutive new moon at 28 degrees, something minutes, almost 29 degrees, the very last degree of a sign, helping us to wrap up the old era of Neptune and Pisces. And yes, we have left Neptune and Pisces. It's in Aries now. But if there's anything lingering, any remnant of your past, any sense of when is my life going to shift? Why is X, Y, or Z still happening? Then you know there's a little bit more, there's something more to release during this new moon. And it could be changing your story. It's so hard not to identify with what we feel is missing in our life. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you could be feeling still the remnants of an old story, a past life chapter, the old era that is coming back up for you again to emotionally process and to let go. Okay, so it is very important that we look at what is going on during this new moon between the planets. How are they speaking to each other? Because this gives us clues as to how this new moon is likely to play out. But first, I want to share with you who will most feel this new moon in Pisces. It is happening at 28 degrees. I believe it's about 21 minutes, 28, 21, almost 29 degrees of Pisces. So those of you with planets or points between 24 and 29 degrees of the mutable signs, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, or Sagittarius, you will feel this new moon most intensely. Also, those of you with planets or points between 0 and 3 degrees of the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, you will also feel the Pisces new moon more intensely. But as I always say, wherever you have 28, 29 degrees of Pisces in your natal astrology chart, the themes that I share with you in your 12-sign readings will very likely relate to your experience during this new moon. And of course, we always feel new and full moons in the collective. So let's talk about the aspects, in other words, the planetary conversations going on during the new moon and how the new moon is talking to any other planets. I first look at the ruler or rulers of the new moon and ask, are they involved? And yes, they are. We have the co-rulers of Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune, both making aspects to different planets. And in the case of Neptune, it is directly activated by this new moon. So we'll start with Neptune. Neptune is now in Aries, and the sun and the moon in Pisces, aka the new moon, are both making an out-of-sign conjunction to Neptune. Now, 3 hours after the new moon peaks, as I said in the opening, it will move into Aries, and then it will make an exact conjunction to Neptune. Neptune in its highest octave is connected to our dreams, our visions, the ideal that we want to co-create with the divine. So that's really beautiful. However, when the moon makes a conjunction to Neptune, it can bring up our subconscious fears. We can be disappointed. We can feel disillusioned. We can feel deflated. And when the sun makes a conjunction to Neptune, as it will, that's our vitality and our life force, we can either feel awesome, I'm on track, I know now what my vision is. Or we can feel like, wait, this feels out of sync with what I planned. This isn't what I envisioned. This doesn't look like it looked when I was formulating this and getting excited about this in my imagination. So you could see that this energy can play out either way. And also we want to keep in mind that as the moon moves on a couple of degrees, it will also make a conjunction to Saturn in Aries, which can make us feel like we're not being supported, or that the work is going to be too intense, or it's just more than we maybe wanted to invest. Now, when the sun makes a conjunction to Saturn, which it will on the 25th of March, so several days after this new moon, and I go into this in my March astrology video at more length, but when the sun conjuncts Saturn, then it becomes very real. Then we get what we call the reality check. But if we really, really want it, if we are both feet in, if we are up for the challenge, if we're up for the hard work of Saturn, then maybe we're saying, okay, it is going to be what it is, but I am still committed. I'm on board. I am ready to create this solid, sustainable foundation for this long-term, enduring goal, Saturn. What is most important for me to impart to you, my friend, is that both the sun and the moon, the new moon, they are activating Saturn and Neptune through these conjunctions for the very first time since Saturn and Neptune moved into Aries, symbolizing beginning this new era, potentially bringing up things either on a personal level or collectively that we have not seen before, that we didn't predict, we didn't plan for. And so the energy around this time, from the new moon to several days after, could be bringing a lot of new energy, some of it unexpected, and some of it potentially exciting. So we want to have beginner's mind. We want to stay open. We want to be like, yeah, this is new territory. I mean, that's Aries season. The sun is going to move into Aries 2 days after this new moon on the 20th. That is Aries season. New territory, the hero's journey. I'm doing this because I'm inspired. I don't know where this is taking me. I don't know if I can succeed necessarily, but I feel the inspiration and the passion. So I'm saying, yes, I'm going for it. And not only does the sun enter Aries on the 20th, we also have the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere and the fall equinox in the southern hemisphere, a change of seasons in both, which also usher in new energy. And the new moon synchronistically is harmonizing with Uranus, the great awakener, the planet that brings in unexpected moments, epiphanies, aha, realizations. The new moon is working with, harmoniously, Uranus and Taurus, doing its very last pass in that sign, to bring us a new perspective, to have us open up to new possibilities, solutions, opportunities. These are gifts of sextiles. And this could feel like a fresh breeze blowing in. I hope this is what this feels like to many of us. Be as creative as you can in approaching anything that feels like a dilemma or a problem or a need for a workaround or a creative solution. Be open to innovating. Ask the divine, what is my workaround? How can I do this differently? There has to be a way. Show me the way, Spirit. Show me the way. Because Uranus is future focus, and Uranus and Taurus wants to upgrade us with regard especially to our finances, to beauty, to comforts, to the pleasures of earthly life. Now, Jupiter is the other co-ruler of the new moon. It is now direct. It turned direct on March 10th, and it will be speaking to both Venus and Mars during this new moon. Jupiter is the great expander, the largest planet in our solar system. It tends to bring blessings and good fortune. Yes, it can expand whatever it touches. So we want to keep our vibration high and thinking as expansively as we can. Jupiter and Venus in Aries doing a dance. They are making what we call a square to one another. Venus in Aries, and of course Venus rules money, beauty, pleasure, relationships, love, all the delicious things in life. Venus in Aries, which is quite go-getting, independent, freedom-seeking energy. Venus in Aries is squaring Jupiter in Cancer. Venus squaring Jupiter tends to look like throwing caution to the wind. It could be where we just completely want to let loose. We really don't want to deal with reality. Or we're full of hope and expansiveness and we're not looking at all the factors involved. And so we have a tendency to overdo, overspend, overindulge. Be absolutely sure that we are the ones that are going to meet Luke Thompson from Bridgerton, fall madly deeply in love, and run off into the sunset together. This said, Venus squaring Jupiter is really lovely for healing a relationship, engaging in a creative project, or throwing a visioning party. Now, the conversation between Mars, the planet of inspiration, drive, mojo, just do it. Mars is trining. This is ease and flow. This is the easiest aspect we can have. Mars is trining Jupiter, meaning we are likely to be fired up and ready to take a step, and we don't need any kind of a push. We're taking action out of passion and inspiration. So you could feel quite ignited during this new moon, especially when the moon enters Aries and Mars is exactly trining Jupiter. You could feel quite a powerful momentum to move forward. And know, my friend, that if the timing is right for you to take some sort of action, you will likely feel it. I say this because the North Node in Pisces, representing your destiny, and the South Node in Virgo, representing karma and fate, they will be talking to Mercury retrograde during this new moon. And when the North Node and the South Node aspect Mercury, we get those divine downloads. We get that sense of, I should go here, I should make that call, I should talk to this person. This alignment speaks to fated and destined meetings, especially with people that we've known either in this lifetime or in past lifetimes, and to receiving communication that points us in the right direction, that gives us a sense of how our soul is guiding us forward. But also because the South Node is opposing Mercury retrograde, it could be showing you what's ending, especially if it's a karmic or fated closure, the wrapping up of a soul contract where you have done the work that you were meant to do. You've learned the lesson with the person, the job, the situation, the health issue, and now you get to graduate. Now you get to move on. But we really want to be aware of our thinking, the story, the narrative that we're telling about our life. Is it putting us in our power for creating the life we want, creating the future we want? Or are we still looking back to the past? Is it about what's missing versus what's coming? If that is true, the North and South Node are saying time to change our story as well. Because, my friend, if you are truly ready for a shift, to feel more aligned with your spirit, to feel free, passionate, and fully alive, as Joseph Campbell famously wrote, and I paraphrase, you must be willing to let go of the life you planned so as to have the life that is waiting for you. Let us do your 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This will tell you in which house you will be experiencing this new moon, the themes that are likely to be relevant, and listen to your sun and moon signs as well for additional themes and messages and card readings that are likely to apply to your new moon experience. And we're going to start with Pisces because beautiful Pisces, this is your new moon. And Pisces, I think some of you, especially if you have planets or points in the high degrees of your sign, in that 24 to 29 degree range, you are very possibly going to feel some of the remnants, as I speak about in part 1 of this video, the holdover, if there's any, from the Neptune in Pisces era. Anything that happened for you in the last year or two may come up again if there's more forgiveness of yourself, of another, if there's more compassion that you are, or if it's time to change your story, if you haven't updated your story, you know, your inner narrative about what's possible for you going forward, then that may be part of this new moon experience. This new moon has us looking at your vitality, your life force energy, the roles that you play personally or professionally, anything to do with work, anything to do with relationship status, whether it is a romantic partnership or any other partnership, any other relationship in which, you know, you share energy with another person. And of course, that's all relationships, but 7th house relationships, which is across from this new moon, they tend to be the ones that we have some sort of commitment. We have their back, they have our back, or at least we have the expectation that there will be mutual reciprocity. And these can be best friendships, they can be relationships with adult children, they can be the people that are anchors in your life. So this new moon is about a new vision, a fresh start, new possibility for you, what you want to co-create going forward, your heart's desire. And like I said, some of you will be letting go still of something in your past, or, you know, a place where you had self-doubt or perhaps have self-doubt. Maybe the new vision that you have or the next chapter that you want to create that involves a role, a title perhaps, or a goal that you have to like have your own business, or a goal that you have to make your vocation into your actual work. Some of you may want to retire. Some of you may want to, you know, do something that's really new and different and that feels quite risky and or very adventurous, like, you know, the proverbial buy a sailboat and sail around the world. You might want to do something that you've never done before. This is a new era after all, and especially for Pisces people, this can really feel like, I'd be surprised if it doesn't feel like a new chapter of your life. This is a super powered new moon. It's not an eclipse, but there's a lot of power to it, Pisces, because 6 months from now, we're going to have it's going to culminate in the full moon lunar eclipse in your sign. It's going to culminate in that. And that's an endings eclipse, or it could be manifestation, you know, something blooming. But that is going to mark an ending for some of you, the end of a cycle. So the seeds that you plant, the seeds of intention that you plant during this new moon are going to be very important, especially when we get to that 6-month culminating point. And that will be the August 27th or 28th, depending on your time zone, full moon lunar eclipse in your sign, Pisces. So of course, I will do a separate video for you on that eclipse when we get closer to it. But for now, you know, think about how you want to feel renewed. What would make you feel like you are coming into a time of rebirth? Because that's the first house. In the first house, a new moon, we're meant to refresh and start a whole new, you know, it's not just a new cycle like every new moon is. It's a big new cycle for you because it's in your sign. So if you want to change a role, if you are doing something different with how you spend your time, especially your look, your appearance, you might want to change that in some way. Whatever you can do to increase your vitality, if that feels appropriate. Any of these things would be, you know, whatever, how you manage your energy, what it takes or might take for you to feel even better in your body, in your aliveness, your creativity, Pisces, your artistry. Any of these things could apply. So let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. For you, beautiful Pisces. Pisces. And this message I'm getting as I'm shuffling is to give yourself freedom. There's a lot of freedom in this new moon with the sextile to Uranus, which I talk about in part 1. But Uranus is awakening energy. Uranus wants us to see with new eyes, look outside the box, come up with a new way of approaching something. It's very, very creative energy, and you are extremely creative too, Pisces. So let's see your card. Pisces. Your card is Moonlight Serenade. Speaking of creativity, she's holding an instrument, she's playing. Change your tune. Is there a story in your mind that isn't fully supportive of joy, inner peace, deep contentment? Are you approaching something from fear rather than confidence, boldness? I mean, after all, the moon will move right after it culminates, it peaks, it's going to move right into Aries. Boldness, right? Fire, saying yes. So this card, in a lot of ways, reminds me of your energy. I mean, here's the trumpets, you know, there's a lot of music, there's a lot of celebrational energy. There's a stream of light coming down from this crescent moon onto her crown, and she's playing a tune. Is that tune, does it need to be changed? The moonlight, how perfect for your energy, Pisces. Moonlight Serenade, music, it's so you. It's so straightforward. Check in with the story that you're telling. Is it expansive? Does it validate and reflect your superpowers? your gifts, your talents, because you have all the potential that you need, beautiful Pisces, to excel at what your heart most desires. Aquarius. Hello, beautiful Aquarius. Your new moon in Pisces is happening in your second house of self-worth and deserving earned income, material security. What you need to feel comfortable in this earthly life, what you need to feel like you are safe, you are secure, all of your needs are met. This also includes this house, your possessions. So a new moon here is asking you, what do you want to co-create going forward in these areas of your life? Do you feel like you deserve what your heart most wants? Do you feel in alignment with your potential, with your ability to earn what you want to earn, your ability to be self-reliant? These are the questions that you might want to ask or journal about during this new moon time. There's a harmonizing Uranus transit to this new moon, meaning that if you aren't sure how to manifest what your heart wants, if you're not sure how you're going to go about calling in the positive, supportive, expansive, abundant energy that you desire, Aquarius, you are very much supported to work with Uranus during this new moon to see things outside of the box, to envision a solution, to ask for a breakthrough, to receive an epiphany. And we have lots of supportive energy from Jupiter as well, which I speak about in part 1 of this video. So if you haven't watched that, I highly encourage you to go back and watch it. And let's see, Aquarius, what this new moon in Pisces has to tell you, in addition to where it's happening. Let's see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Aquarius. Aquarius. Synchronicity, yes. The moon's moment. Wow, wow, wow. There is a strong karmic and fated and also destined element to this new moon as Mercury, synchronicities, right? Mercury's communication, our thoughts and the signs that we see and the things that register in our, in our thinking mind, synchronicity, right? There is a really lovely aspect between the North Node lining up with Mercury and then the South Node of fate and karma opposing the South Node of releasing and letting go what is complete for us. So the moon's moment, doesn't that sound like this North and South Node aspect that's going on? Look at the clock. The timing is right for you, Aquarius. Something is lining up for you. Watch for signs and synchronicities. If you want to claim that you are receiving exactly what you need from the divine, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. The new moon in Pisces makes a lovely sextile to your energy, supportive, solutions, opportunities. You have to take some sort of action, but when you do, you are lined up with what you desire. It makes it easy to, get to that tangible outcome that you want. So where is this happening for you? In your third house of mindset, communication, your thinking, your inner story about your life. So you want to make sure it's updated. You want to make sure it's focused on what you want to experience present time and, a positive future focused vision. Also, the third house is where we have local meetings, communications, networking, conversations, where we are talking often with neighbors, with siblings, with aunts, uncles, or cousins. We're very attuned to our local environment. So pay attention to those quote unquote random, not random conversations that happen wherever you are, whether you are standing in line waiting for a coffee, whether you are talking to someone at the grocery store. I always use the example of being in a yoga studio because I happen to love yoga and do yoga, but it could be anything. It could be you working out at the gym. It could be you taking walks with a pet. The people that you meet up and see and talk to, something magical could come through any of those kinds of conversations. This is the house of connections. It's the house too of short trips, whether it's a long weekend or a day trip, your devices, your vehicles. And then there's also the aspect of learning and growth, writing, the emails that you receive, perhaps people reaching out to you, offering you some sort of opportunity. Also, if you are a freelancer, if you own your own business, this is the house that includes your website or a blog or any writing work that you do, any speaking work that you do. So really big picture, I call this the house of moving and shaking. It's really a transactional house, whether you're making a sale through your website or you're having a conversation with someone and they retain you to do something for them, or maybe you're selling something, maybe you're selling a car, maybe you're buying a car. Mercury will be direct as of the 20th, I believe it is. So I personally would not encourage you to make a big purchase until Mercury does move into direct motion. But this is a new moon. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to plan. It's a time to get clear on what you want to bring into fruition and what will often come to fruition 6 months later. Not to say that you can't take action, obviously, between now and 6 months. In fact, you can have a mini culmination of a new moon 2 weeks later. So Capricorn, what would you like to manifest during this next cycle? That is the question. And let us see what the cards have to say for you. And some of you, it might be new friendships in your local area. Or you might want to change your location, whether it's a work location or a home location, or you might want to move your workouts to a different gym. You might want to change up the way you walk. After all this, or the route that you take when you walk, or the route that you take to do various things. After all, with this harmonious Uranus aspect, it really is inviting us to change something up. If you get an invitation, Capricorn, to do something different and it is appealing to you, do it. For sure, do it, because this is a try something new, do something different, change it up kind of new moon. Okay. Capricorn, your card is protection, ring around the moon. So you are protected. What a lovely message. There's so much soft glowing energy. It reminds me of Pisces energy, especially the soft pink here. There is this glow of spiritual protection that you have. And so know that whatever it is that you are intending, or whatever is going on in your life right now, if you're going through something difficult, know that you are being watched over, you're being guided, you're being protected by your spiritual guides, your ancestors, your angels, whoever you work with. You are not alone, beautiful Capricorn. The universe, Mother Earth, the moon, they all have your back. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius, beautiful Sag. You're going to experience the new moon in Pisces in your 4th house of home, family, childhood conditioning, your roots, your desire to belong, your mother line, and your ancestors. This is the house that is connected to ancestral healing, to healing our inner child as well, or to the very basics of looking at your actual home. The new moon makes a square to your energy, and when we have a square, we are motivated to take some sort of action. So, are there any changes that you want to make in your home? Do you want to move, Sag? Do you want to redecorate? Do you want to remodel? Do you want to build a new house? Do you want to have a whole different kind of living situation than you have? Some of you maybe want to change, if you have a roommate, for example, or something's changing in your house. Maybe you are someone new is moving in, or someone is moving out, or you realize you want to live alone if you've been living with someone else, or you've been living alone and you want to have somebody move in with you. Maybe you want to get more, financial support by renting out a room from your house, in your house, for example. Or this new moon can take you to a very deep internal place in which you realize there's something from your childhood. I believe that we play out past life experiences during our childhood in order to clear and heal those past life experiences. And so there could be something that's coming up for you that you are healing that is connected to something you experienced many, many years ago, some of you. And sometimes it's something that we're like, I've healed this. I know I healed this. I can't believe it's coming up again, right? There can be many layers of something. So be extra gentle with yourself, Sag, if that is happening. It's a very personal place in our chart. The fourth house, it's the bottom of our chart. It's the most internal, personal place in the chart. And often during a fourth house new moon, we just want to stay home. We want to be quiet. We just want to, it's a hermit kind of new moon oftentimes. So just know that you may very much feel that way, but as soon as the moon moves into Aries, which is going to happen just hours after this Pisces new moon peaks, you could feel completely different, because when the moon is in Aries, just several hours later, then it trines your energy, Sag. So I really see this new moon as we're shedding a layer. If we need to, we're shedding a layer, and then we're like coming into the Aries energy full speed ahead. You know, there could be a moment there with the Neptune conjunction, which I speak about in part 1 of this video. There could be a moment there of feeling disappointed, feeling like what we thought was going to happen isn't happening. Rose-colored glasses come off, all of that. That could happen. But after that, we are on to new territory. We are in fresh new territory, and Sag, the Aries energy really vibes beautifully with your energy. So you could be raring to go by that point. So given that, let us see what the cards have to say for you. Leave me a comment if you would. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your perspective on things and how you're feeling this energy. This new moon will culminate 6 months from now in a full moon lunar eclipse. So it's a big new moon. Watch part 1 of this video if you haven't already and you are interested in a deeper dive, because that's where I share a lot more tips on how you can work with this new moon, Sag. Your card is Dark Moon, the past. This is the dark moon. Pisces energy is connected with the past. You cannot make this stuff up. So here you go. It is saying, you see the snakes, right? It is saying it is time to shed a skin so that you can move forward. Love the purple energy. I always associate that with Pisces. There's a lot of abundance in the gold. There is the dark. We're letting go of any dark fears, emotions, anger, sadness, grief. We're releasing that. Obviously, grief has its own timeline. You know, there are layers to that if you're going through that. But, you know, if you look at the image of this goddess, angel goddess, she's in her full power. She is in, and we're ending the, you know, we just ended the year of the snake. We're in the year of the horse now, but we just let go of the year of the snake. We're really releasing the old remnants of the Pisces, the Neptune and Pisces era. So what a perfectly synchronistic card. Release the past. We're moving forward. Beautiful Sag. If you resonate with anything that I shared and you want to share in the comments, I love hearing from you. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you are going to experience the new moon in Pisces, which makes a lovely trine to your energy. It is flow and ease, the wind at your back, in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, children, freedom, joy, pleasure, inner child delight. What a lovely, lovely new moon for you, Scorpio. There's nothing that I don't love about a 5th house new moon. And so some of you could be using this for your creativity. What a beautiful time to make art or to do something. You know, you don't have to be an artist to create with color, right? With crayons or pastels or watercolors, throwing color on the page. There's so many different ways to do this. Dancing your prayers, playing with a child, going out and doing something fun. This is definitely a new moon for you. In the 5th house, it says do something just for fun. It can also be really, really romantic for you, Scorpio. So if there is somebody that you know that you want to have a date with, if there's somebody that you want to let them know your feelings, including a current person that you are partnered with or dating. You know, this is a time to really express that and to take care of your inner child with something delightful and fun. This is, of course, a new moon, so it is reflecting on what you want in these areas of your life, whether it's a new creative project or, you know, what you want for your love life or a creative brainchild, whatever it is, Scorpio. It is very much supporting you. Very expansive new moon, too, with the trine of Mars to Jupiter, and Jupiter in Cancer also trines your energy. So that's a really lovely, it's a lot of support for you, especially emotional support, Scorpio. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. I talk about all the different aspects that are going on, how the planets are speaking to one another in part 1 of this video. So watch that if you haven't yet, and just know that Uranus is part of the mix. It's a harmonious Uranus. Change things up. Do things differently, be spontaneous, do something on the spur of the moment, whatever calls to you. Think outside of your normal, you know, this new moon wants us to see with new eyes, to see with a more expanded perspective, to be inventive and creative. Which, with all this flowing trine energy, Scorpio, I don't think you're going to have any problem doing that at all. So let's see what the card message is for you. Scorpio. Abundance. Domicile moon abundance, Scorpio. You know what I love about this card? Well, of course, who doesn't love abundance? But what I love about this, all the red, is it reminds me of the Aries energy, how just after this new moon peaks in Pisces, it's going to move into Aries. The moon will move into Aries. And it will, I'm not going to go through it again, what I already talked about in part 1 of this video. Watch part 1 if you want to know, why is Aries energy so important? Of course, Aries season is happening just 2 days after this new moon, but the new era of Neptune in Aries is being activated by this new moon. As soon as it, even before it enters Aries, it's still making an out of sign conjunction to the new moon. And that's a real important activation. So I talk about this at length, but all this red reminds me of that root chakra energy. You might feel quite fully alive and passionate during this new moon. If you want to claim your abundance, Scorpio, let us know in the comments if you would. I love hearing from you. Libra. Hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, you're going to experience your new moon in Pisces in your 6th house of routines, schedules, your daily work, your co-workers, your relationship to your work, whether you love it, whether you want to change in it, you know, whether your relationships with the people that you work with, whether they are colleagues or co-workers or supervisors, whether those feel good to you, whether they're aligned with your energy, and your health, your wellness on all levels, and your lifestyle and pets. They all fall here, which means that any of the intentions that you are setting during this new moon, any seeds that you're planting for what you want to co-create with the universe, are likely to, you know, make some sort of connection with any of these things that I just mentioned. So Libra, what changes, if any, do you want to make in these 6th house areas for you? Do you want a new lifestyle? Are you ready to get a new pet? Or are you itching to have a new routine with your work? Do you want more freedom? Do you want more flexibility? If you work at an office, maybe you want to work at home. You know, a lot of businesses, organizations, companies are changing their work structures, and they're requiring new things of their employees. Not all, some of them are giving, you know, most employers know that employees want flexibility, but there's definitely a big change with AI now being, you know, so rolled out in businesses. There are changes that are happening in so many companies. So as a result, there are more people, what I'm seeing, that want to do something independently. They want to work for themselves. They don't want to be at the mercy, so to speak, of what an employer is telling them they have to do. I'm seeing that more and more. And that also aligns with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is the sign of the entrepreneur. And of course, that Saturn, Neptune in Aries is across from your energy, Libra. So you could be feeling that very strongly, especially if you have planets or points in the early degrees of your sign, Libra. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. If you do want to make a change in your work or your health, if your body is calling for different kinds of nourishment, different kinds of food, different ways of exercising, moving, or maybe some of you are ready to get some support for your emotional or your mental health, or you want a whole new lifestyle, you want to live in another country, or you want to, sell everything you own and live on a boat, or there's so many, there are people that live on cruise ships now. It kind of blows me away. There are people who are doing all kinds of different lifestyles, so that could appeal to you as well, Libra. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. For your new moon in Pisces. Libra. Stay in integrity, moon shining. Okay, I'll show you the card. So here we have an open road. There's a new direction depicted in this card, right? And it's saying that you are shining like the moon. You're meant to shine like the moon. I love this blue triangle. This reminds me of the throat chakra, the blue. It reminds me of speaking your truth. Some of you may need to speak your truth in a work environment. Some of you may realize that to stay in your integrity, you have to be aligned with your soul, and you can't be in a certain work environment anymore, or you can't keep imbibing in a substance, or you have to, if you've been too sedentary, you have to begin to move more, or you can't keep thinking the same thoughts because maybe your nervous system needs a break, Libra. That could be part of it too. The nervous system is really, really highlighted with Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Aries rules the brain. So is there anything that you need to shift or change or intend in order to be in full alignment with your integrity so that you are beautifully moving along the road of your soul's destiny? Beautiful Libra. There is a North Star here. There is a North Star that is guiding you to exactly what is right for you. If you want to claim that you are in integrity, or you are in alignment with your soul, or you are shining like the moon, beautiful Libra, let us know in the comments. Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, the new moon in Pisces is happening for you in your 7th house of committed relationships, whether they're romantic or business or best friendships. Any relationships in which you have the other person's back, they have your back, they feel mutually reciprocal, or maybe they don't and you need to bring them back into alignment, that could be happening for you too. But this new moon definitely highlights your committed relationships and what you need to be happy and fulfilled in relationship. That could be very up for you during this new moon. After all, the new moon is a dark moon. It's a time to reflect. It's time to get a sense of, are things in harmony with my relationships? Is there something out of harmony? Is there something that I need to shift? Do I need more time with other people? Do I need less time? Virgos need their time alone for sure. Not to say that all highly sensitive souls don't need time alone, but Virgos in particular really need to make sure that they can, you're highly sensitive, just like Pisces energy, and you do need, you need what you need, Virgo. You know what it is. You know when you need a night by yourself. You know when you need a month by yourself. You get the idea. And sometimes in Virgo energy, we're afraid that we're going to alienate our partner. If we do have a romantic partner and we do have somebody that's very important to us that we want to spend time, sometimes we're afraid that we're going to lose the relationship or alienate them if we do devote too much time to ourselves. And so I'm here to validate for you that communicating what it is you need with your partner, if you can do that, which you can, you might be very surprised at the support that you actually get, because you need to put your needs first, beautiful Virgo. Otherwise, you're not being true and authentic in the partnership, right? I know I'm telling you something that you probably all really know already. It's just a reminder. Boundaries could really come into play during a new moon in the 7th house for sure. It's a new vision. It's a new beginning. It's a spark of new possibility for you, what you want to intend going forward. And it could have to do with work too. Those relationships can be work relationships that fall in the 7th house. It can be a relationship with a supervisor or with a client or with a potential business partner as well. So Virgo, let us shuffle for you and see what the cards have to say. And I talk in part 1 of this video about how this new moon will culminate in a lunar eclipse. And of course, we just had the lunar eclipse. We just had the blood moon, full moon, lunar eclipse in your sign, Virgo. What was that like for you? If you want to share in the comments, I found that quite intense. It was exactly conjunct my 4th house cusp. But it was also really beautiful. So, but yeah, I had many moments. Well, I don't know if I should say many. I had several moments of, shedding, emotional release, and that felt really cleansing. It was definitely a purifying, cleansing new moon, which is your energy, Virgo. We were meant to purify and cleanse during that full moon. I meant full moon. And so the 6 months from now, this new moon in Pisces is going to culminate in a lunar eclipse in Pisces. So you can't make this stuff up. These are very important lunations for your energy, Virgo. So let's see. Let's see now what the cards want to say. And something just came through to me, which is some of you may want to be promoted to a supervisory role, or some of you may be up leveling to, you want to be recognized. You want to be given credit for something that you're ready for now, like an upgrade, which, doesn't surprise me now that I think too about Uranus making a sextile, Uranus and Taurus, which is an energy that wants to upgrade us in a very material way. Often the amount of money we make or the amount of responsibility, just being recognized and giving us the credit for what we have earned. So that could be up for you too, Virgo. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Virgo, your card is, ooh, I love this. Do nothing. It says void moon. This is not a void moon, but look, this is like a spiritual retreat card. She's meditating. She's in the desert. Reminds me of Joshua Tree. A lot of people go there for spiritual retreats, but of course there are many other places too that you can go. There's the crescent moon there. Can you give yourself permission to do absolutely nothing? That is going to serve you well. That's going to rejuvenate you, especially after a pretty intense full moon in your sign. Eclipse, no less. Beautiful Virgo. If this resonates and you want to claim your intention to do nothing, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear. Leo. Hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, you are going to have your new moon in Pisces in the 8th house of transformation, death, and rebirth, the house of emotional attachments, the house in which we want to hold on to our stuff. And I know that's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek way of explaining it, but the reason I say that is that the 8th house is both a financial and a relationship house, and it's where we share time, money, and resources with other people. It can also be investments, loans, taxes. It can also be inheritances. And so we call it the house of power and control because we want control over the things that give us security. And also emotional and sexual intimacy fall here. So it's a very deep, it's connected to Pluto energy on a very deep level. We don't have Pluto aspects to this new moon, but the house itself, the 8th house, is connected to transformation, and that's why, and Pluto, and that's why we call it the house of death and rebirth. So a new moon here, beautiful Leo, is almost always taking you to a deep place. It wants you to get to the root of something. If anything feels not right for you, it wants you to get to the root of the matter. Now, Leo, keep in mind that as soon as the new moon peaks, just a few hours later, it will go into Aries. And once it's in Aries, it is making a lovely trine to your energy. So Aries energy really vibes with your energy and gorgeously. And so the energy is going to shift pretty rapidly. But before that happens, you could go through a period of deep reflection, feeling like you're shedding a skin. Maybe you're having some sort of an emotional release. Maybe you're getting very clear over what you have control over, what you don't. You could feel full of power. You could feel powerless. This is always a call to reclaim your power, a new moon in the 8th house. If anything is coming up for you that feels emotional, to reclaim your power, to set clear boundaries, to say no to anything that is just, intrusive in any way or that's over the line for you, and to get clear on what your heart most wants, because this is also a house where we can have an illumination or a sense of what's in integrity with your soul and what isn't. Anytime we have, and it's not a full moon, it's a new moon, and full moons tend to be felt more emotionally in our relationships because there are oppositions between the sun and the moon, and in a new moon, the sun and the moon are together. They're conferring, they're working together. But we have a number of different aspects that you could feel during this new moon as well. And Uranus is saying, think outside the box, think of different ways of doing something, be inventive, be creative, be future focused, but also release your past. If there's anything in your past that you're holding on to, if you're telling a story that is not empowering, we are definitely meant to tell a new story, craft a new story. And you could feel very much focused on your money, especially long-term savings, a nest egg, if you do invest, how your investments are, how your portfolio, so to speak, is, what you're prioritizing, what you're invested in. You could be changing that. You could be selling stock, or, you get the idea. These are just examples. You could be doing your taxes. You could be thinking about paying off a debt, or, perhaps taking out a loan. You could be thinking about selling a house or buying a house. You could be also thinking about or focusing on a relationship, and are you both in alignment with each other? Are you both on the same page? Are you both being open to one another about your joys, your passions, your fears? This is a very, very passionate house, the 8th house. So, but also where we can be codependent sometimes because we don't want to sometimes upset the apple cart. And so telling somebody the truth can feel kind of scary if we don't feel safe with that person. So we want to create safety if we're having a conversation and we are wanting to get on the same page. Then it takes two people being honest with one another, right, Leo? So let's see what the cards have to say for you, for your new moon in Pisces. Leo, your card is the Law of Attraction, Moon Mastery. I love it, I love it, I love it. So here are these three goddesses. They are doing a manifestation ritual. They are invoking the law of attraction. They are in the vortex. There is all of this celebrational light. I love it, I love it, I love it. Leo, this reminds me of your energy, the solar plexus, the yellow, being fully in your power. There are these beautiful blossoming poppies. The full moon is coming up from behind. What is not to love about this card? There's a celebration, there's a dance, there's a raising of vibration. This is a great message for you and how you might want to do your new moon. Gathering with others, keeping your vibration high, calling in what your heart most desires, beautiful Leo. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I am part of your Cancer family. I have my moon and my rising sign in Cancer. And the new moon is happening for you in your 9th house of expansion. Your energy being water, Pisces energy, deep water, they vibe really beautifully together. So this 9th house energy is, how can you feed your spirit that much more? Through higher learning, a certification or a degree program, for example, through long distance travel, new horizons, new adventures. Are they calling to you, Cancer? Is there anything that you're feeling? Are you ready to come out of, if you do live in the Northern Hemisphere, if you have been in winter mode, are you ready to launch into spring and feel like, you have a new adventure again? That could be part of it. You could be wanting to learn about another culture, learn a new language. This is a seeking house. It's a questing. It's an expansion of of things you haven't thought of before, you know, new metaphysical insights. Also, it's government. If you work in a government job, for example, if you work at a university, for example, that, you know, is connected to the ninth house. Anything to do with the law, anything to do with the court system, justice, that could also come into play. New moons are asking us, what is our intention? What do we want to co-create? What do we want to see come to fruition 6 months from now? We can have a mini culmination 2 weeks from now from the new moon. 6 months from now, we will have a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. So this is a very important new moon, shedding a skin, releasing a layer, at the same time calling in a new vision, new dream, new beginning. And whatever it is, does it expand you? That is the question. Also, if you want to do something, whether it's a podcast or a broadcast or publish something that allows you to speak your truth, that's the ninth house as well, that allows you to share your perspective, your enthusiasm, Cancer, that is supported for this new moon as well. Or if you want to teach something, you know, if you're creating a course, if you're already doing those kinds of things, but you know you need to do them differently so that you're not sacrificing too much of your time and energy, you might be coming up with a new way of doing what you do so that it's more sustainable. It doesn't drain your energy, it boosts your energy instead. So you get the idea, Cancer. Let us see what the cards have to say for you for your new moon. And I'm hearing the word inventive. This is potentially it's a very creative new moon for you. And Spirit is saying, be inventive, think outside the box, think of new ways of doing what you already do if you want to keep doing what you do. And I'm also focusing now, my eyes going right to that word adventure. So do you want to have an adventure? What would it look like? Some of us have fears about taking adventures if we're afraid that they aren't going to pay off. So I would say small steps, put, you know, 1 foot in, take, you know, if you do want to live someplace else, or you do want to take like a long distance trip where you travel around the world, for example, educate yourself, do the research, find out, talk to people who've done what you've done, watch YouTube videos on the things you want to do, so that it doesn't feel like you're going into it cold. You're doing the research to warm yourself up and really get a sense of is this what you truly want, Cancer? Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for you. And if you are involved in any sort of lawsuit or anything in which you want justice, now is the time for us to call our energy back to ourselves, not allow the lower vibrations, so to speak, energies or people that aren't in alignment with our energy to drain our energy by us giving energy to them or their actions, to not allow our energy to be siphoned. Call all of our energy back to us and close off access between any of those energies, people, situations that might be draining our energy. That's very, very important. Okay, because we are going into a new chapter. And for Cancers in particular, and I can tell you this as a Cancer moon, Cancer rising, sometimes it's really hard to let go of past pain and past hurts and past betrayals, injustices. But it only poisons us to keep thinking or holding on to that past pain, right, Cancer? So onward and upward. We have a whole new life ahead of us. And if not a whole new life, a whole new chapter, however you want to phrase it, it's time for that new, beautiful beginning. Okay, beautiful Cancer. Cancer. The mystery, the dark side of the moon mystery. This is so cool. What this reminds me of is, first of all, the ninth house is a spiritual house. It does highlight our spiritual beliefs as well. And I feel that you are in mystery right now. Whatever you want to co-create feels like a mystery to some of you. It feels like, and that could be scary. You know, we do want to become aware of any fears that we have and purge those fears, process them, about something that we want to do. But what if it's meant to be a mystery? And so often we're like, I don't want to do that because the last time I did something like that, it didn't bring me the joy I thought it would bring me. But you're a new person now. This is a new stage of your life now. And if we let our past dictate our future or our future actions, then we're stuck in the past. And this new moon has released the past written all over it, all over it. So what I love is this rainbow energy coming up from the moon. Wow. It's almost like this beam me up Scotty, right? Wow. And the pyramids. You have Cancer, ancestral, a whole ancestral line supporting you. The power of the wise and ancestral beings. This can be ancestors of the land. Doesn't have to be ancestors from your family, although it can be that too. There's a lot of wisdom symbolized in these pyramids. There's a lot of mystery. Maybe you're meant to go to a place that is full of spiritual significance. And that's where you're going to have this awakening. This feels like an awakening to me. Beautiful Cancer, if you want to claim your awakening or stepping into the mystery of a new horizon, 9th house, new horizons. Don't you think this is so in alignment with the 9th house? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear how you see these images as well. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, I have my natal sun in Gemini. And you are going to have your new moon in Pisces in your 10th house of career, vocation, passion, life purpose expressed, your legacy, retirement or semi-retirement for some of you, or simply how you want to spend your one wild and precious life, as Mary Oliver so beautifully frames it. Beautiful Gemini. The new moon says, what do you want to plant for seeds? What is most on your heart right now? What is your vision for this next manifestational cycle that culminates at the end of August of this year? What do you want, Gem? What do you want going forward? You know, some of you might want to shift your career in some way, or if you don't have a career, you might want to just shift how you spend your time. Some of you may want to retire. Some of you are ready to do your passion, so to speak, to live your passion, to take a vocation, which I really associate as a passion or a sense of purpose, and make it real in terms of a career. This new moon, it makes a square to your energy, and that happens whenever we have a new moon or a full moon on the angle of our chart. There's always either an opposition or a square energy or a conjunction energy, and that means it's a harder aspect, but we only say it's a hard aspect because we are catalyzed by the energy to take some sort of action. We are moved into action. Tension or pressure makes us feel like, okay, the timing is right. I have to make a decision. I have to make a move. I have to release a story or something in my life that's not sustainable anymore, something that doesn't fit me anymore. It's Pisces energy, so it can be where you've over-sacrificed, something that drains your energy, a way of doing your work. You could love your work, but know that you need to do it differently in some way. And this has been coming on for a while, ever since the nodes of the moon went into Pisces and Virgo. This energy has been very current for all of us, and that was January of 2025. So for some time now, you could have been feeling like, I need to make a change here in some way. Like I said, it's not necessarily letting go of the work that you do, but it could be letting go of how you do it. Or this could involve your home or a family matter. You could be wanting to move. That could be true for some of you too, or change your home in some way. So Gem, what is it for you? Leave me a comment if you'd like to share. I'd love to hear. And let's see what the cards have to say for you. Almost as soon as this moon peaks, well, 3 hours later, very soon after, the moon will go into Aries. And when the moon goes into Aries, that's going to make a sextile to your energy, Gemini. And that's a solution, an opportunity, a new way of seeing, something that invigorates you, or could be an aha moment. It could be, you know, sextiles bring us tangible, something tangible, the outcome that we desire often. So you could really feel that. I think we're all going to really feel that shift after this moon peaks a few hours later, the shift into Aries. I really feel the difference between a Pisces and an Aries moon. Big time. Big time. Partly because Pisces energy squares our Gemini energy. And Aries energy gives us fire and fuels our fire, fuels our air. You know, the air and our air and Aries fire is a really lovely, invigorating, you know, make the fire bigger, make the passion bigger. So, okay, Gem, I've been shuffling. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. And yes, there could be a momentary disappointment. There could be a disappointment at first when the moon makes a conjunction to Neptune and then Saturn. You know, that is kind of the reality showing itself. But then if we need to, we regroup and we get a sense of, okay, if this is not in alignment, then what is? Okay, Gem. Changes, the Quicksilver moon. I always think of Gemini energy with Quicksilver because it's quick, it's fast, and Gemini moves fast, and Aries moves fast too. And I just talked about how the moon will move into Aries after Pisces. There's a fast moving energy here. Quicksilver. This could be a real epiphany. I love this. I love this. Geminis know how to do change well. It doesn't mean that it's easy for Gemini always. We're mutable energy. We are flexible. We can shift. We can adapt easily. I don't want to use that word easy. We can adapt because we're adept at adapting. Gem, you're a word person just like I am. We are adept at adapting. How do you like that? But the thing is that we want to keep in mind that sometimes Geminis worry about change. We worry that we have to make a change. What if it won't be the right change? What if we won't be happy, right? Geminis have one foot in the ethereal realms, one foot in this realm. There's a duality. There can be as an astrologer friend once said to me, the depressed Gemini twin and the magically connected Gemini twin. You know, sometimes the earthly reality for Geminis can bring you down with a thud. It can just feel a little bit too heavy and dense. But if you look at the image in this card, she is very much in the sensuality of her goddessness. There are swans flanking her. There are beautiful golden abundant rays coming out from this full moon. And this is a very rich, abundant image. So if you are ready for a change, beautiful Gem, and you want a Quicksilver epiphany, let us know in the comments below or claim it if you'd like. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, your new moon in Pisces is happening in your 11th house of dreams, fulfillment. What makes your heart soar? The house of friendships, allies, supporters, long-term financial gains, branding or promoting a product or a service. This house is where we are putting our vision out into the world, where we are taking our telescope and we're looking to see where in the world do I want to be. It's the world is your oyster house for you. So it's asking you, what is your dream now? What would make you most fulfilled? Where do you want to venture? Where do you want to expand? Where do you want to experience the joy of being in this physical earth, you know, on this physical earth in a body? Where do you want to experience the sensuality of all of your senses fully alive, Taurus? That's your energy. That's something that you excel at. And you get a sextile from this new moon to your energy. And sextiles are solutions, opportunities. It beautifully harmonizes with your energy, Taurus. Uranus is still in your sign. It's at its very last, it's doing its very last pass. And it's harmonizing with this new moon, just like this new moon is harmonizing with you. So that is a breath of fresh air, a Uranus sextile. That's a new epiphany, a new way of seeing something turning in your favor. I'm hearing the Wheel of Fortune for some of you. After all, your energy is connected to material gains. It's connected to the good life, whatever the good life is for you, Taurus. So there's a lot of beauty on all levels in this new moon for you. And if you want, to realize more financial gains for yourself, that's very supported. If you want to, you could meet a new friend, you could engage in online dating or your own online presence. This is the house of social media platforms as well. So if you want to expand your online presence, if you have one, if you want to expand the profits of your business or your ability to put the word out about your business, your social media, however you do that, new branding for some of you, or rebranding, or brand deals maybe for some of you, Taurus. But whatever it is, it has to be in alignment with your heart. It has to feel fulfilling to you. So what is it for you, Taurus? What does your heart most want? And do you feel like you have the friendships that are supportive of you right now, or the people that that are in your network, so to speak? Do you feel like there are people that support you? This new moon wants you to shed and release anything that doesn't feel supportive to you, anything that is not feeding you, basically. You're meant to release during the new moon. So beautiful Taurus, let us see what the cards have to say for you. Let me know what's going on in your life in the comments if you'd like to share. I love hearing from you. And let's see what your card message is for your 11th house new moon. The 11th house is the World card in the tarot. I love the 11th house energy. It's all about support. It's all about support. So just say yes to receiving support, beautiful Taurus. And this would be a fun new moon for you too, to do some sort of gathering, because the 11th house can be where we do, we get a group together to make vision boards, or we hang out with our friends and we, talk about our intentions, and we do some sort of ritual. Or we do, a gathering, we do some sort of gathering, some sort of getting together with like-minded people. This is the house of tribe too. So, Taurus, your card. Moonstone, slow it down. Slow it down. You don't have to go fast. This is your energy, Taurus. You are the slow and steady wins the race people. You know in your gut when something's right for you. It's one of the superpowers of Taurus. Knowing when something is right for you and taking action when it feels right in your body. You are so attuned to your body, you know when something is right. I love this image of the full moon and then all of these little crescent moons surrounding it. And, it's an interesting energy, because there's gold, which symbolizes abundance, but then there's it feels very snowy to me. It feels very wintry to me. And I'm putting this image even closer so you can see what the image is. It looks like an animal that has a beak. And is it a bird? Is it two animals? Is it a mountain? You let me know, Taurus. I feel like it's open to interpretation. We could see it in a lot of different ways. But the moonstone, I love the moonstone as a gemstone. If you don't have a moonstone, you might want to get a moonstone, or if you have one, I would definitely use it in your new moon ritual if you do one. Slow it down. Take your time. There is no rush. You have everything you need to move at your own pace. Beautiful Taurus. If that resonates for you, let us know in the comments if you'd like to share. Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, the new moon in Pisces is happening for you in your 12th house of the other realms. Your mysterious connection with the divine. This is also the house of the subconscious mind, reprogramming our subconscious, being aware of our subconscious mindset. If it's something that isn't supportive and we can change it, of course, we can always change it. A new moon in Pisces in your 12th house can take you quite deep. You could have intense dreams. You can have wonderful messages come through in your dreams, especially with Mercury retrograde in Pisces in your 12th house. You could have already gotten an epiphany. You can have already gotten clarity that you didn't have before. You could go through some sort of spiritual awakening, some connection with the astral plane, with the Akashic records, some of you. This is a new moon to really be asking for a deepening with your divine connection, asking for intuitive guidance. You could be channeling wisdom from your angels, from ancestors on the other side. This is a great new moon to ask yourself, is there anything that I'm doing that is self-sabotaging? And that could be as simple as self-doubt. It could be as simple as feeling like a victim of your circumstances. If you feel like you have worked so hard to make a change, Aries, and it hasn't happened yet, then there's probably something that you are meant to let go of. And that could be as simple as frustration or anger. A lot of times when we have strong Aries energy, and I have Mars in Aries, so I know about this, we can have anger that we have repressed that we're not even aware of. And I know that's not all of you. Some of you are very well aware of your frustration and anger. But Aries, you are someone that usually takes control and wants to move forward. Your cardinal energy, you are the go-getter of the zodiac. And when things are not coming to fruition for you, when you're not getting your needs met, when things are not happening for you, you could be extremely frustrated, and you could even go into victim mode saying, this is wrong, it's taking too long. And really, that's when it's a call to get in touch with your emotions and release them, process them, let them out so they don't keep you from what you most want to manifest. Most importantly, with a 12th house new moon, this is a call to deepen your connection with the divine. And obviously, Aries, I'm only speaking to those of you right now who feel stuck or feel like things are not happening the way you want them to happen. Some of you could be like, I'm raring to go. I'm really enjoying this 12th house energy. But others of you, I'm speaking to those of you that feel like not enough is happening. We want to make sure, because in Pisces energy, we can really go into victim mode and we can really point to all these things in our surroundings that are keeping us back or holding us back. And we don't want to do that. We want to reclaim our power. If you are feeling good about your life, if you do feel in flow, then this is a new moon for sure to be going with the flow of the energies. And remember, Mercury's retrograde in Pisces. That is go with the flow. That is ride with the tide. That's knowing that there are ebbs and flows in life. And even if they are not the ones that we would have ordered off the menu, we are meant to ride the horse in the direction that it is going. And if you're lost or confused, that would be so natural for this time, so natural, because that's Pisces energy. We can feel like we're swimming out in the middle of the ocean all by ourselves, and where's our help? We put the SOS out, and why are we not getting back what we're asking for? It can be a time that we are really tested in our faith, but Pisces is, in Pisces energy, we're meant to reinforce our faith and know that any hard transit, this too shall pass. Now, Aries, as soon as this moon peaks, 3 hours later, it will go into your sign, and the moon will be in your sign. And then you could feel like a big shift in your energy. The moon will make a conjunction to Neptune. I talk about this in part 1 of the video, so go back and watch that if you haven't already. But, it could be a momentary sense of disappointment or feeling deflated. But once it passes through and we go into your season, Aries, I go into your season at length in my March 2026 video with full monthly horoscopes for all of you. Once we get into your season, then the party is on for you. So I hope that you will enjoy those horoscopes as well. Aries, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Remember, it's a new moon. It's the time to set intentions, to be clear, to release. A great time to do a new moon ritual. Write down all the things you don't want anymore, that you're releasing, that you're letting go of, and burn them. Burn them outside. Burn them outside. And then what do you want to experience? In present tense, as though you already have it, get into the vortex, feel the high vibration of it, let the energy go out into the ethers, and let's see what the cards have to say for you. Beautiful Aries. Aries. Go for it. This is such a great phrase for you, Aries. It's so Aries. Reach for the moon. Go for it. Yes, reach for the moon. At the very least, you will land among the stars. I love, love, love this card. It needs no explanation, right? She is doing the splits. She is supported. However, it looks like she's being flanked by 2 supports. She's in her glory. She's in her grace and her glory. She is celebrating. Whatever you desire, you can co-create it with the universe. But know, believe in yourself, Aries. Believe in yourself and know that you are fully worthy. You are fully worthy of all that your heart desires. Go for it. If you want to claim this in the comments, let us know. I'd love to hear. Beautiful friend, thank you for joining me for this new moon in Aries video. Thank you for liking the video, giving it a thumbs up, for commenting, for sharing, for subscribing. When you like, comment, share, and subscribe, you ignite the algorithm to put this video out into suggested videos, which makes a huge difference to the health of my channel. Thank you so much for that support. And if you would like to do an astrology consultation with me or a clarity coaching session, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me. For astrology readings, we can do a natal chart, a life purpose, a heart's desire. Many choices for you, including 90-minute astrology consultations for those of you who want more time to go deeper into something that is very, very important to you now. You will get time to do some coaching with me, and I will share with you at least one, if not more, tools that you can employ to make a real difference in your life now. The links to both my astrology and coaching pages are in the description box below, and it will be my absolute joy to meet you on Zoom. If you would like to receive my free gift, I have a free gift for you. It is a soothing guided meditation reconnecting you to your spiritual source, to your inner guidance, to the unconditional love of the divine. How perfect is that for a Pisces new moon? To receive my free gift meditation, instant download, go to my website, sign up for free to my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you'll get that free instant download gift right away. My beautiful friend, let me know any thoughts that you have on this new moon, on the readings, or your card messages. I'd love to hear. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.